Good morning, everyone. It's me, Natalie. Welcome to my channel, if I'm enjoying the journey. It is about 7:30 in the morning, and I just sent my son off to school, so Joshua is on his way to school. And I decided to make a beeline to the garden. I haven't been out here in a couple of days. That's one thing, you guys, about fall gardening. It's quite different from spring and summer gardening. In the spring, the temperatures are much milder, and you're out in the garden and you're planting out a lot of things like your bell peppers and your cucumbers um, and tomatoes, things like that. And all during the summertime, you're maintaining that garden, and sometimes in some very, very, very uh, warm temperatures, like 80s and 90s, high 80s, low 90s. So you're out in 90-degree weather trying to keep your garden maintained and watered. Sometimes you have to water at least twice a day, it depends. And with fall gardening, you get to lay back a little bit. First of all, what you're growing is going to be brassicas, a lot of brassicas, your mustards, your collards, your cabbage, your kale, lettuce, broccoli, things like that. Um, it also needs to be maintained, but pretty much a fall garden really takes care of itself, and your watering schedule will change quite drastically. You do not have to water as often. So I haven't watered this garden. I haven't had to touch that garden hose in about a week and also we've been getting some showers. At first, we weren't getting any rain whatsoever. And then finally, excuse me, finally we got some rain, and the garden was good and saturated. And I have not had to come out here and water this garden in several days. One thing I will do, I will have to fertilize. I will fertilize a few things, especially the what's new. I feel like when they're first starting off, I need to give them a boost of nutrients, even though they're starting off in good nutrient-rich soil. I'd say every 2 weeks, maybe, you do need to water it with, or feed your garden to promote healthy plant development. You want to make sure that it has enough of the nitrogen, the phosphorus, and the potassium that it needs. So I think it is time to fertilize, but I'm not worried about it, because as you can see, I'm trying to let you guys kind of look, but I'm also trying to stay warm. uh, as you can see, everything's growing well. Oh, we can take a look at the citrus. Citrus is doing well. I tell you one thing, lemons take a long time to ripen. I've had lemons on here for the longest, and they're not completely ripe yet because there's still some green. I'm going to go around so you can see. Let me walk around to the other side so you can see these. You see how large they are? These are almost ready to come on off. Matter of fact, they may be ready. See, they're still green on one side. That's what I'm concerned with. This one looks like it can come off. But here's what I learned, and I Googled it just yesterday. Because I'm like, when are these lemons going to be ready? Lemons do not ripen off of the tree. If you take them off when they're green, they're going to stay green. And then you'll have a lime, right? But lemons do not, it's not like a tomato where it continues to ripen and change colors off of the tree. Matter of fact, once you remove it from the tree, it actually begins to deteriorate. And you can keep them fresh longer by placing them in the refrigerator. But with the lemons, you just have to let them stay on the tree until they turn yellow. And it sometimes takes a while. So, but I do see one, even though it's just a touch of green, maybe towards the top, I think that one is ready. but the one next to it, it's still kind of green on the other side. But this is my first time growing citrus, so I'm learning how to maintain it. Let's see where I can go. Oh, tomatoes. There are some tomatoes out here that are ripening. I can actually go ahead, those that are turning red, that are blushing right now, I can go ahead and remove them. You see? Tomatoes in the fall. Tomatoes in the fall. Okay. And blossoms. Look at that. Hey, little girl. All right. So that tomato bush is doing fine, tomato plant. So I'm going to move that to a warmer spot. It is 36 degrees right now. I don't know if I mentioned how cold it was, but I'll tell you, it is 36 degrees. It's very cold. So I'm thinking of moving my tomato plant to a warmer spot, but a place where it can also continue to get sun. This is what I'm going to be harvesting in a little bit. My hands are frozen. I don't have my little gloves on. I'm going to be harvesting this broccoli from over here with the Green Magic. I'm going to be harvesting the mustards. As you can see, it is long overdue for a harvest. The leaves are huge. Good thing with a mustard that they stay tender. They're tender. With the collards, sometimes you don't want them to get too big because they're tougher. But with these mustards, they stay nice and tender, but it is long overdue for a harvest. And thank goodness the cooler temperatures will make sure that they're sweeter. So, you guys know that because these are cool weather vegetables, they do well in cool weather. And if it's too warm, they may be a bit bitter. But the cold temperatures, they love that. It makes them sweeter, especially with the cabbage. Okay, I have mustards over here I have to harvest. Here's lettuce that I have to harvest. It's probably like a salad blend. And I didn't even remember that I had planted it. I thought the seeds that I had planted over here did not take, but one seed did, as you can see, and I have lettuce over here. I also have peas, so I have to harvest those peas. Looks like I'll be able to harvest some red cabbage today. I'm sorry, red mustards. This is Red Giant. I'll do that. I'll harvest those. Right here are the mustards. I'm sorry, collards. These are my Georgia collards. And I will be harvesting them also. I'm going to try to do a little at a time because I don't want to have to process all of this at once. So I think I'll start with the mustards and then I'll move to the broccoli and then I'll come back and get the collards a little later. So I have lettuce over here that needs to be harvested. You've seen me harvest from there before. That's the butter crunch over there. But it's time to harvest again. Look, it's the burden of abundance. That's what one of the YouTubers call it. Her name is Sherry. She calls it the burden of abundance. You have so much, which is a great thing, but it's like then you have to process that. You have to get it inside, and you have to harvest and then get it inside to either cook it or you're going to store it. Whether you're dehydrating or canning or freezing, you gotta preserve your food, right? That lettuce looks awesome, beautiful, so pretty. Sometimes you don't want to mess with it. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and first I gotta thaw my hands out, and then I'll start harvesting. All right. Okay, everyone. Hi. Look, I am bundled up today, right? Because it's really cold. It is 36 degrees, like I said earlier. So I am bundled up. I am not about to sit out here and freeze, so I don't care what I look like right now. But I need to do this harvest. So I'm going to move over there. I'm going to start over there where the mustards are. I'm going to do those first, and then I'll move to the broccoli. But I may not talk as much because I want to work quickly. So let's get started, you guys. Let's move over. Okay. You know what? Let's start with the broccoli. Okay. My little basket's down here on the ground next to me. I'll leave you, let you continue to grow. Let's see here. It's a little tiny one, but I'll take it. Ah, see, and another thing, if I saw any yellow, a broccoli crown or a little head of broccoli like this, these are just little bitty flower buds that haven't opened up yet. So you want to go ahead and harvest them while they're still nice and tight and they're still closed. And when you see that a little yellow in there, that means they're almost ready to start blooming. So you want to go ahead and pull them off before that happens. Now it's nice and cool now, but before it was kind of warm in my area. I live in Southeast Louisiana. I'm in zone 9A in my area. I'm in the West Baton Rouge area. I know I'm picking some that are very small, but it's okay. If I have a large crown, what I do, okay, I'm sorry to move you guys. But if I have a large crown, what I'm going to do is take it and cut it into small bite-sized pieces. You know, so why not take them off the plant while they're small? You have a little tiny floret. That's all that is. All of this is coming off one plant. So just like I said in the beginning, you start with that main crown directly in the middle of the plant, and then afterwards the plant's going to give you side shoots and you'll get more broccoli that way. So when you harvest that main crown in the middle, you're not done. You can eat the leaves, and also you will be getting side shoots growing afterwards. Okay. Now look, the reason why I have to use scissors when I harvest instead of just pulling them off, the stems of these mustard greens are really thick. So just pulling them off by hand sometimes doesn't work. Yeah, they're real thick. They're growing so nicely. You see how thick that is? So I can't just tear them off, and I don't want to hurt the plant. So I decided that I'll just use my scissors and just snip them off. Okay. Show you how large they are. You see that, huh? But they're still tender. They're nice and tender. But yeah, this is long overdue. I'm gonna try to take all the really big ones and leave just some little small ones so it can regrow. This is cut and come again. Now look, if you see what I have on, don't laugh. But I'm trying to stay warm, okay? I'm trying to stay off camera. But you would really laugh if you see what I'm wearing, my get up. Child, I have on garden boots. I got on these little fuzzy sleep jammies and pants. And I'm wearing a jacket because I just got up, right? I was just up getting my son ready for school. And I said, you know what? Let me get out here and do that harvest that I've been talking about. I do see some insect damage. Look, I heard a gardener say, you know what? You see, if you come in a garden and you see these little insect holes on it, it's an organic garden. It's, first of all, you're going to have pests in the garden. If you see a few insect holes, it's organic. I might not be using really strong pesticides to kill everything in the garden. I also want my food to be healthy and not loaded with pesticides. So I try to be selective, with what I use in the garden. So that's why I wanted to do a video and talk about that, just to, no expert, but I know what I want in my garden, if that makes sense. And I know I don't want anything that's too toxic, right? This is my food. And that's one of the reasons why we start growing our own food, because we know what we're using in our garden. We know that we're not using anything that's harmful, right? So that's why we all have started this journey of gardening to start growing our own food. All right. Trying to take all the big leaves and leave some smaller ones. And also, hey, my husband said the cold weather is not going to stick around for long. But just in case it does, what if the temperature drops lower, than 36? What if it goes to like 30? Then, hey, I don't want my greens to freeze and be damaged by the frost. Okay. So, that's why I'm removing it. Go ahead and harvest it. Now, this is my first time harvesting from this one. Yay! This is a new plant. I'm going to need more harvest baskets. Remember that movie, Jaws? There's an iconic scene, a very famous scene where the guy says, we're going to need a bigger boat. So this is me saying, I'm going to need a bigger boat. I'm going to need a bigger harvest basket, y'all. Yeah, okay. Turn it that way. This is the red cabbage. First harvest of my red cabbage. Let's lay it right there. Just taking those bigger leaves, trying to harvest from the outer leaves. Okay. La la la. Harvesting is fun. It's very rewarding. But harvesting in extreme heat or extreme cold is not fun. So I'm moving quickly, you guys. Look, and I promised you I wasn't going to be running my mouth, but here I am. You know what? I'm going to speed things up. How about that? I'm going to speed it up. I think you guys got the gist of it, right? All right, everybody, I am done. Look at the collards. I picked them clean, huh? As my mama would say. I picked them clean. So I left some collards, couldn't come again, but I got the majority of them. They were pretty large size leaves. I even took some of the younger tender leaves, but I wanted to leave some behind. So hey, we can let it grow again, right? I harvested that butter crunch lettuce that's over there, but I did leave that other variety, this one right here. That's a head lettuce, so it actually should turn into like a little round head. But the butter crunch is gone. I did leave some of the leaves behind. If it regrows, perfect. That's fine with me. Okay, over here I got the peas, my mustards. Hey, I got as much as I could. Over here with the red mustards, I actually see a few more leaves that I can grab, but I do try to leave some. I don't know, but the larger ones like this, I think I'll grab those. Now these are more tender. I can actually pull these by hand instead of using scissors. But yeah, mustards over here, the red mustards, some Florida broadleaf right there. I got those. And over here, got the large leaf. They were huge. I'm going to show you some of these leaves. I don't want to stay out here much longer, but I want to show you some of those leaves, even if I do it inside the house. Because I'm going to try to take everything inside with me. So I got to go clear off space on my table and my counter. So I'm going to bring it inside. Let's go over there and look at the harvest. All right, you guys. Remember I told you I had to get a bigger boat? Well, I did. I'm using my picnic table that's over here. Oh, these are all the collards, y'all. See, I put in work. I'm going inside, get me some hot chocolate or some coffee or some tea or what. Okay, whatever floats my boat. That's my mustard. Okay, there's my mustard. Look, I can't even talk. Ooh, look at that. There was one leaf that was so huge, I actually wanted to stop the camera so I can show you guys. But I said, no, let me continue on. Big, and they're very tender. They're tender, and like I said, because of the cool weather, they should also be very sweet, not bitter. These are the tomatoes that were blushing. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them continue to blush. This one probably could have stayed, but it'll continue. I see a little slightly blushing, so that one probably could have stayed, but the others, I'll let them continue to ripen. More mustards, y'all, right here. More mustards. Okay, and I'm gonna pick through them, take out any bad leaves. The red variety right there. Those are my peas back there. And I have more peas in the house. I've been collecting them a little at a time. Here are my broccoli side shoots. So this one's almost as large as a main crown, but those are just the side shoots. And this is from the Green Magic broccoli. I have lettuce right here. This is the butter crunch. Guys, let me just step back and show you everything. My mustards. So I have mustards on this table and on the other table. The red mustards there, the peas, broccoli, lettuce. I'm really tempted to go ahead and take that lemon that looks like it's completely done. I'm really tempted to go ahead and harvest that. Again, let's look at these mustards and the collards. At this point, all I'm doing is just taking them inside, washing them, chopping them up, and freezing. I want to try this time not blanching them. Supposedly, if you blanch them, they last even longer, but I don't know. I want to try it without blanching, see how that works. I'll decide once I get inside. Okay, and my tomatoes. But you guys, I am freezing. I'm frozen. I'm going inside. So I'm just going to bid you farewell. Thank you for stopping by the Joy Garden and spending some time with me. I appreciate you. Welcome to my new subscribers again. Thank you guys for just making the decision to subscribe to my channel and join me on this gardening journey. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right? You guys have a blessed day. Bye now.